UValleyRadio.net. Good morning. I'm Robert Miguel, and we are getting ready for, just the final weekend of 2022, heading into 2023, New Year's Eve, just around the corner, and to get you all pumped up, primed up for a big party going on down the way in Campwood, Texas. Joining me on the phone, I've got Nat and Casey. What's going on? Welcome.
Yeah, waiting for the new year.
Good day to you.
Hey, so thank you guys for joining me. I think you guys are going to end up being my final interview of 2022. So congratulations.
All right.
So first of all, let's introduce yourselves. Nat, go ahead and say hi and tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm Natalie Hampton, and I'm pretty much manage the Hampton Connection. Just been in the music stuff for a long time. My deceased husband was doing it. I was the roadie for him, so
wow.
The boys came together and we started another band. So yeah, it's
very cool.
Going.
Well, we'll definitely get more into that, and then of course, Casey, where are you checking in from, and what's your investment in this whole deal?
Okay, I moved down here from Austin around 15 years ago, and a couple of years ago, got with a group we put together called the Nueces. 2 words, New Aces.
Uh-huh.
And we are always having trouble trying to find a place to practice and stuff, so we actually built a studio. It's more of a music studio than it is a recording studio behind my house. We've got, a lot of guitars, a lot of keyboards, drums, and we get together, and Hampton Connection works out of here, and also Matt Marks is a solo act that you may have seen around town. He works out of our studio, and again, it's more of a practice studio. We're just now starting to get into the recording aspect of it, but having a blast. Having a good time.
All right, so Casey, now just so it's not lost on anybody, you said you started a band called the Nueces, and of course, that's a play on Nueces, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
Right? All right, so when first I heard of you guys, I thought that was super clever. And again, your recording or your practice studio that's merging into a recording studio is called Nueces Music Studio, and it's over there in Campwood?
Yes, it is. It's on River Road, and we, like I said, we don't do a lot of recording yet. We're mostly the Connection and a couple of other people come through. We hope to eventually offer lessons in guitar and keyboard and stuff like that. But right now, our primary goal is to bring some culture down here to our canyon.
Yeah, sounds great, man. So, Casey...
Yeah, we got a lot going, but we don't have a lot of music going, but we're fixing to change that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it takes just a couple of people to get active in the community and make things happen. So I'm excited to be talking to you guys about that because Campwood is, I guess you could consider a small community, but you guys kind of do big things out there, in the canyon. So I'm excited to see where you guys' connection, no pun intended, takes you. So, Casey, real quick, getting back to what you do, what instruments do you play? What are you, the guitar player, singer, and what is your role as a musician, I guess, first of all?
Well, I started back in the mid-'60s. I cut a record with a group called The Rogues.
Woo, dating yourself there.
Well, I know. No, I'm old. I can't pull it off anymore. And then I was in the military myself, and when I got out, I went home to Austin where I was born and got involved in the music industry there, but the traffic finally drove me out of Austin. I'd ridden a motorcycle down to Campwood, and I've been all over Texas. I haven't found a prettier place.
Wow, very cool.
The scenery, the river, most of the people, it's a great place, and I love it. In fact, when I go back to Austin, I tell them, when I'm down in Campwood and there's a truck in front of me and a truck behind me, I know who their kids are.
Exactly.
So it's a blast down here. We've got a lot to do, but it's getting done, and people are really enjoying it and coming together over some music, which is great.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for your service. I think that's important to recognize, so thank you for that. And let's get back to Natalie. Nat, now, you mentioned you're kind of a roadie. You said you have a late husband that was involved in music. Is that what you said?
Yeah. His name was Red Hampton. He played around it. We moved up here back in, '97 and worked on a ranch for 16 years, but nobody ever knew he played till probably 10 years after we were up here. He kind of slipped it out one day, and then it was like, yeah, here we go.
Now, you're managing the regional band, the Hampton Connection. Now, is that, are there members of the family? Obviously, Nat Hampton. Are there members of the Hampton family in this band, or is there something other
No,
name?
it's just all young men that Red kind of had a hand in them, in their music stuff. Growing up, I know Orlando, when he was 12, my drummer, we bought him his first drum set, and so he's always kind of been part of the family kind of thing. And Albert Shipman, he's always been a great friend of mine, and Joe Nation as well. Mike, my bass player, he just kind of got into the picture about a year ago, but he's a super cool guy. They're just all great guys.
It sounds
like their band mom. So
yeah, it sounds like you've got kind of a manager / band mom, kind of Sharon Osbourne kind of thing going on.
Well, they call me Slash, because you're like roadie / band mom /
So this is all, we're taking a long way around, but again, we're getting back to it. The big New Year's Eve party this Saturday night in Campwood. It's going to be over at the Bruce Park Show Barn, and we'll get details all about it later. I just kind of want to make sure everybody knows exactly who you guys are, and what you guys do. So let's go ahead and now we know who the both of you are separately. How did you guys come together? How long have you guys known each other?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Casey was a customer of mine at the hardware store for a lot of years, and then we kind of just started hanging out. So
when did you guys realize that you both kind of had a connection with the music thing?
Don't really know.
Well, through Red, through her husband, incredible musician. He was a one-man band, but he did it well. He played it all. And I've got to tell you real quick, the Hampton Connection, coming from Austin, I grew up in music. Stevie Ray was a friend of mine.
Wow.
A lot of music. I came down here, not hardly any music. I listened to these guys one time, and whoa, the harmony and the singing they do is incredible. They've got a sound that you've got to hear. It's as good as any sound I've heard up in Austin. They do a lot of what they call country rock, which is like Cody Jinks, Chris Stapleton.
Yeah,
those guys. How it happened with Natalie and I lost my wife 2 years ago in a car accident up in North Texas, and she had lost Red about the same time. So we found comfort in each other's company and just started getting into the music, and it's progressed to where we are now. We've got several talented musicians, including Matt Marks, working out of the studio. But I can't wait for folks to listen to the Hampton Connection. These guys are really good.
On the phone, again, we've got Casey over there from Nueces Music Studio, and we got Natalie from the Hampton Connection, the manager. And again, the big party is this Saturday night, New Year's Eve, $10 cover, party favors included, BYOB. There's going to be a 50-50 drawing, photo booth, concessions, and of course, live music. So we've already touched on the band a bit. Before we get into talking about the opening acts, let's go ahead and dive a little deeper into the Hampton Connection. Now, Natalie, you mentioned some of the band members. How long have these guys been together? And give us a quick, I guess, the whole behind the music kind of story of the band.
They came together in June of 21 when we had the memorial for my husband. I knew that he would want music for it, so I just got a hold of Albert. I said, "Hey, I need some musicians." So he's the one that kind of pulled everybody together, and it just took off, and it was like October of that year, CG contacted us for the Hunters Roundup. Hey, you guys, y'all want to play? Yeah, what's the name of the band? We don't have one. So we went from there. I said, Albert, we got to have a name. So it just fell in the Hampton Connection because they all had a connection with Red.
Now, if I may interject real quick, because I was at that show, I believe. I think Uvalde Radio was out there, and you guys already had business cards made up, so it looked,
Oh, yeah.
I know there was...
That's my job.
Yeah, exactly. You're right on it, so...
I am on it, sir.
Yeah, very cool. So go ahead and reintroduce me to the members of the band and what they each do.
Okay, Joe Nation is acoustic guitar, lead guitar, and singer. And then I have Albert Shipman is... what does he play? The 4-string tenor.
A tenor, an Eastman tenor.
I have Orlando Jackson on drums, and then Mike Finkel is the bass player.
Now, are all these guys local to Campwood or the surrounding areas?
Albert and Joe live here, and Mike lives in San Antonio, and Orlando's over in Junction.
So
kind of
obviously,
difficult to get everybody together for practices sometimes, but we pull it off.
So obviously they get together and they jam in Nueces Music Studio. How was the direction of the band decided? You know, like I said, you guys got to kind of have that southern rock, country rock thing going on.
I like the same stuff, so I mean, it just kind of fell in. I'll throw some in every once in a while. Guys, I think we need to have more dance music. If you're going to play for people, you're going to have dance music, and they'll get some George Strait in there or something like that, and just roll with it. And they're writing their own songs right now, too. We'll be debuting 3 new songs on Saturday night, so I'm really excited about that.
Now, how many gigs has the band played? Obviously, they're a relatively new band, and, you're in Camp, which there's only a limited number of shows you could probably do regionally.
Yeah, we've basically done, family reunions, and we've played at the Jailhouse Bar and Grill in Rock Springs a couple of times. Looking to get over in Concan and House Pasture and things like that, but we're working on it. And I don't know, Uvalde's open, Bracketville. We've got our names out there. We're just waiting on people to start calling us.
Well, I'm sure that this New Year's Eve gig is going to make a big ruckus and get you guys a lot of attention going into 2023. As far as the original music, what direction is that music taking?
They're country songs. They're, one of them's a waltz beat, and the other one's kind of like a crying in your beer kind of song. And yeah, I mean, they're staying in that direction. We're not no heavy metal people.
Well, let's talk about the event itself now that we know the band and we know you guys' backgrounds. New Year's Eve, Campwood, Texas, Bruce Park Show Barn. It starts at 7, going to go till about 1 a.m. $10 cover. Give us details as to what people can expect and maybe some tips as far as parking and maybe staying out of trouble with the local authorities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, don't act a fool and you won't get arrested.
Right.
But yeah, we'll have a deputy patrolling periodically. We invited him last year and he had a good time, so he'll be back. And then parking is pretty much unlimited out there. I mean, there's plenty of room to park. The girls being Albert's mom and her sisters will be having food at midnight for everyone. So I mean, it's kind of a family deal too.
Yeah, if I may, if people are coming from out of town, we've got several good places here for stay. You might check with the Arrowhead, which incidentally Matt Marks owns and manages.
Okay. But
we've also got Cowboys, which is a nice motel. We've got the Los Rios, which is another little resort here. You can check with those folks. This time of year is pretty slow for us outside the hunters and the people that find their way down here. But it started with last year. We were still coming out of COVID. Mm-hmm. And we needed a place that was big enough to where people could find their distance and not worried so much about the closeness of like a bar or something. And this fit the bill. It's wide open, plenty of room, plenty of parking. Candace and her sisters do a wonderful job at the concession stand. And like I said, before midnight, they break out the food, your black-eyed peas and whatever ham and all that other stuff. But a great venue, a lot of fun.
Well, let's talk about that midnight thing. Okay, so the event is BYOB. So are we talking beer, liquor, anything? Dealer's choice.
Whatever you want.
Okay, and at midnight, I'm assuming there's going to be a toast. It's kind of just bring your own cup and toast. Is that the way we're going to?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
So who's gonna do the honors of the countdown? Is that going to be one of you guys?
Probably. We kind of slipped up last year and went, it's midnight.
Yeah, about 12:30.
Someone's got to stay sober enough to watch the clock.
Yeah. We'll make the kids in charge of that, and they can pull the balloons down at midnight. So.
Wow,
I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds like a great event. Again, New Year's Eve party featuring live music by the Hampton Connection this Saturday, December 31st, 7 to 1 a.m. over at the Bruce Park Show Barn. We mentioned Matt Martz. He's going to be warming the stage, doing the opening act. Give us a little background on him real quick.
Matt Martz originally came from up around the Lubbock area, and he and his family came down here, loved the area. In fact, his sister is married to John Griffin, who came here hunting. But they decided they wanted to move here, and they bought the Arrowhead and renovated it, and it is a great facility. Now, Matt's been playing. He was one of the founding members of the Nueces, and helped me write a few songs like Rimrock Road and a few others. But very talented, incredible on the guitar. Got a great style, but really looking forward to his act on New Year's.
Well, he's also just a really great guy. And UvaldeRadio.net, we've been honored to have him on our Friday Night Live showcase over at Broadway 830 in downtown Uvalde. Yeah. And I was actually honored to see him just a couple of weeks ago when you guys had that big Christmas and Old Settlers reunion over in the park, too. So great performer, great guy all around. Is there any other, the flyer says, and special guests? Is there anything else I'm missing?
Yeah. No, there is one.
There is one.
I am the special guest.
Oh, very nice. All right.
Well, I play, I've got a keyboard, a really nice Yamaha that's called an Arranger that gives me my drums, my backup, everything. So I'm going to be opening, but mostly as a mic check, sound check guy, and tell everybody, hey, we're fixing to play music over here. But I've got about 5 originals, dealing mostly with the Canyon. That I'll be opening up with, and then we'll be bringing Matt up, and he'll do a solid hour of some great stuff, and then the Hampton Connection will come on. And I want to say one other thing, the Nueces Music Studio will be providing the light show, which you've got to see. They've got what's called an ISL, which is an integrated light show, and this thing does amazing effects, so I think anybody that gets out here is going to have a wonderful time.
Well, very good, man. Well, it's been really great getting to know you guys a little bit better and getting excited about the show against New Year's Eve party in Campwood over at the Bruce Park Show Barn. $10 entry, BYOB. So it's what, that is a great date night for New Year's Eve. It really is. $10 and BYOB, man, and hanging out with family and friends in Campwood. You mentioned Nueces Music Studio. Looking forward to the light show there. So, Casey, how can we learn more about the studio? Give me address, phone number, like social media, whatever information you can on how to get in touch if you're a musician wanting to reach out.
Okay, let me get that number real quick. Do you know it, Nate?
830-279-2825.
830-279-2835?
25.
Okay, 830-279-2825.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Now, Nat, tell me all about how to find out more about the Hampton Connection or how to get in hold of maybe with you to book the band.
Same number.
Okay.
And we do have a Facebook page, the Hampton Connection, of course. We're on Instagram as well, and I believe a TikTok, but I don't know those. The boys take care of all that, but they can sure follow us on Facebook, no problem.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts before we get back into some music here on Uvalde Radio?
Yeah, Natalie is associated with the Nueces Music Studio in that she is our sound engineer. She's a big part of our studio, and we hope here in a couple of years you'll be reading about this on
awesome.
The post office wall. But
well, either way, you heard it first right here on Uvalde Radio. So, again, Natalie and Casey, man, thank you guys so much for checking in and giving us some insight as to what we can expect this Saturday night in Campwood as we bring in the new year with the Hampton Connection, Matt Martz, and a whole bunch more. So, thank you guys. And again, find Nueces Music Studio or find Hampton Connection on Facebook for more details. And, of course, we got it posted up at UvaldeRadio.net. And that'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much, all right?
Thank you, guys.
Sure. Have a good one. We'll see you Saturday.
All right. Happy New Year. This is UvaldeRadio.net.